You guys hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yep, got about one more minute before we get started.
Just let you know that we're live.
Okay.
Just if anybody wants to get started, I know
Are you guys good?
you can tell them that they're live and ready to go.
Okay, thank you. If you all can hear me, Mr. Wisser just popped in to say that we are live.
So that means we
Okay.
are ready to go.
All right. Well, good morning, everyone. It is Wednesday, June 24th, 2026. We are having a special board meeting with the Saddle Mountain Unified School District number 90, and it's virtual at 8:30 a.m. Okay. So do we have for adoption of we have Star Marset, Paul Roetto, and Amy Amaral present. Dan Blackson is not present. So we have a quorum.
I make a motion we approve the agenda as presented.
Do we have a second?
You can second it, Amy. I'm Miss Amaral.
I'll second it. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Star there.
Ms. Marset, you'll need to unmute yourself. Should be at the bottom of the screen, the left should be a microphone.
Maybe try calling her on her phone.
I just texted her.
Okay.
I'll give that a second, then I'll try that.
Yeah. I mean, she may have just stepped away and got a cup of coffee like I did.
I'm on the phone with Miss Marset. She's going to try one more thing. Please hold.
Okay.
I assume there's no one in the boardroom, correct?
I assume, but have not checked physically. Joel, is there a control you or I can do to unmute somebody?
The other option might be to use chat.
She's planning to use the chat, Hold on just a moment, please.
Okay, she just hit yes for the. I think we're good now.
Okay. All opposed, say nay. Motion passes. So let's see. Moving on to action items. Revised expenditure budget for FY 26-27. Dr. Winters.
Thank you, Madam President, members of the board. First of all, I want to thank you for being flexible and scheduling and joining a special meeting. It was not in a perfect world, we would not be here. We would have done this at our regular meeting on the 10th. However, we did not feel it would be the responsible thing to bring this forward without all the answers. With the agenda being needed to be uploaded on the 5th of June. We just didn't have enough time. Ms. King has been working with several individuals from several county and state agencies to prepare this revised budget. So while not ideal, we felt it was the responsible thing to do this, and I appreciate you taking the time and flexibility to schedule a second meeting. I'll let Ms. King do most of the explanation, but the gist of it is we do have a possibility of having a cash deficit, so we need to address that. The county does allow for us to levy for that cash deficit. As you know, Ms. Amaral received an email from the county superintendent a few weeks ago with that. We've gone through that process. You have seen the letter that we have sent to the county with our request. However, we won't know the outcome of that request until I believe the middle of August. So that puts us in a real kind of rock and a hard place situation when it comes to our cash. And districts historically have not had a lot of luck with that approval of that request going back the last several years. So with that, I'll turn it over to Ms. King to kind of highlight how and why we are here this morning.
Thank you. And thank you, Madam President and members of the board. So what I would like to propose is this new revised proposed budget. The change is that I went in and increased the ADM. So Mr. Roetto, you'll probably recall on the June 10th meeting, you did mention, something to the effect that, as Kirk used to do, you aim a little bit high on your ADM.
1 second. Paul left the meeting.
Bernadette is
I'm
here
sorry,
now.
I had a phone call coming in and I was trying to cancel it and somehow I lost you guys. So last I heard is Mr. Ruedo, you remember.
Bernadette is also joined us at 8:37.
Thank you.
Who was that?
So with what I was saying, Mr. Roetto, is you had mentioned, it's a fiscal strategy to raise your ADM, to lower your ADM, or to flatline your ADM. It's all part of a fiscal strategy that deals with trying to work with this current year budget, where we don't actually know our numbers until after the school year has started. However, we need to set our numbers in order for the assessor's office to make a determination on what the allowable property tax rate will be for our district. So we had flatlined it on the June 10th, but in the meantime, I was still trying to gather information. So what information was I trying to gather? Well, as I looked through the last few years, it looks like since FY22 through FY26, the district has not collected in taxes over $7.2 million that was budgeted. So in other words, we had the budget capacity, we did not receive the taxes. The taxes were literally not collected. And it amounts to almost or approximately $1 million a year, a little bit over $1 million a year. So I wanted more information before we reacted. First, I wanted to make sure that we had our request for an additional levy put forth to the county, which is what we did. And then second, meeting with Dr. Winters, we both decided, you know what, this is something where we need to bring the board in and we need to have your opinion on what you would like to do. So if I were to look at ADM rates projection from FY24 through FY26, we have just nearly flatlined. By that, I mean, we start with approximately 3,098. We're ending with approximately 3,098 on ADM. However, if I extend that out to FY21 and take it all the way through FY26, we're showing approximately a 5% increase each year. So in my interactions with the state, talking about the state equalization, talking with school finance, with ADE, and saying, hey, recognizing that this district has been shorted actual tax dollars for several years to what amounts to be several $1 million, what is the best response? And of course, their response was that, well, the state's providing the equalization that it said it would, talk to the locals. Well, so I've been talking with Mr. Holland at the assessor's office, and he said that, you know, when you take into account some of the case law that has, or some of the actions that have happened coming out of the Kassemeyer lawsuit, that there are some districts that ended up taking a hit due to that whole zoning issue between a zone range 3 and a zone range 4 and the property taxes associated with that. He did explain that in FY23, the legislature came through and told the assessor's office to go back to not ignore the Kassemeyer case, but rather redefine it in a way that they can actually start collecting taxes again, the way they were supposed to be collecting taxes. And so he said that they think that they have started to resolve the tax issue, but in the meantime, our district has still been shorted a few $1 million. Now, on the additional levy request, we can only go back 1 year. So we can only go back, in this case, submitting it in FY26. I took in the FY25 carry forward into FY26, which was, we were shorted approximately $1.7 million. 1.7 million. So I looked at that. Then I looked at what would happen if we, instead of went with a flat line on our ADM, if we increased it by 5%, which is what the projections show. If we go back to FY21 and run it through current year, we do show approximately 5% per year. And I've even got that in an email from the state. So it's not just my word. So I went ahead and took the ADM. I did talk with Dr. Winters, talked with Kevin Kilborn. Looks like our preschool enrollment for special ed preschool has grown in the last few weeks. So I went ahead and upped the preschool for special ed. It was only at 30. I upped it to 35. Then the K through 12, I upped by 5% for each grade level. In the group B, which is all of your special education groups, as well as the free and reduced price lunch. It also includes gifted, and it includes K through 3 reading. I went ahead and increased all of the group Bs by 5%. What that led to was an approximate, let's see, I think you all had asked me for a comparison yesterday, and I believe after all is said and done, we ended up with approximately 1.3 million increase to M&O. There was a little bit of a decrease in capital, but capital is not affected by the current year ADM. It has to do with prior year ADM, so it's not even affected. all that happened there is because I went and figured, well, since I'm already redoing it, I'll go ahead and redo it with actual year-to-date expenditures halfway through June. So I did that. And so what you'll see is that there was a little bit of dip. I think Dr. Winters sent an email with the ups and the downs of the changes between the proposed budget of June 10th and this proposed budget of June 24th. Those are the only changes in that 14-page document. And again, all of them are born out of either that 5% increase in ADM or on the expense line because I did year-to-date through the middle of June. And so today I'm respectfully requesting that the board decide whether they want to go with the flat line and hope that the additional levy to return that 1.7 million to collect it will go through on August 17th and then be told to the districts on August 18th, or that you go ahead and choose this June 24th proposed budget, which is where we've increased it by 5%. We're not going to be able to collect that full 1.7, but we're hoping to at least collect the 1.3.
All right, what questions do we have?
I have some about cash flow, but I'll just wait and talk to Mrs. King or Miss King at sometime later when we can actually. I'm just trying to figure out how it went through, but everything else looks good. So it's just come December when we revise this budget, it'll go back to where it should have been, and everything will be this. And we're only budgeting to what the original.
Mr. Roto, what you said about December is accurate if the county allows us to do the additional levy. We would revise it at that point. But if not, we feel this is the best budget forward to make sure we collect as much cash to cover our budgeted amount. So the risk is if we don't approve this proposed budget,
Okay.
and all of our eggs in the county basket, we run a pretty big risk of still not collecting enough cash because they have not historically been approving those requests.
Okay, I agree. But assuming we don't have the growth that we're not expecting somewhere before the end of the year, we're going to have a budget like the original proposed budget, similar to.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Sounds good to me.
Other questions or comments?
No, I think you covered the ones that we had about the why for the changes and how it pertains to the letter.
Yeah.
I'd say we still don't know what got messed up that they didn't collect the taxes, but that's not our concern.
That is correct. We are still exploring several explanations, but we have not received a definitive 100% explanation as of yet. And when and if we do, we will pass that along to the board, but that's a win or if kind of situation.
Yeah. Okay, just point of order, the agenda item should have been revised proposed budget. We have a revised expenditure budget. We haven't passed the expenditure budget yet. We proposed the budget.
Yeah.
Okay. So I make a motion, we approve the revised proposed. Oh, okay, go ahead.
Just to make sure Star or Bernadette, like, they don't have questions.
Oh, okay. I didn't realize she's the one that came in. Okay.
I'm good.
Star, do you have any other questions or concerns? with no further discussion, do we have a motion?
Make a motion, we approve the revised proposed expenditure budget for fiscal year 26-27.
Do we have a second?
I'll second it.
Okay, all in favor,
Aye.
say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed say nay.
Hold on. Hi, Miss Marset just called me. Hold on. She has a question. I apologize. Miss King, when the taxes are collected, does that mean there'll be an increase to the budget?
Thank you for that question. If I'm understanding correctly, the question is, once the taxes are collected, does that increase the budget? It's a great question, but no, it actually, this budget is due, and then we'll do the adopted budget in June. There can be no changes, or in July, there can be no changes between this and the adopted one. But then at the point that it gets adopted, then that is when it's submitted to the county. The county's office of the school superintendent then works directly with the assessor's office to actually establish and set what our allowable tax rates will be for this district for this budget to support this budget. And my concern has been that they are not setting the percentage rate at such a rate that it's actually recovering or collecting enough taxes to actually support the budget balance.
Hold on a second. Let me see if I can get her on speaker. Okay, Miss Marset, can you repeat that?
Yeah, so the taxes that we haven't gotten, were they included in our first budget because we thought we were going to get them, and now we're not going to get them, so that's the reason we're adjusting the budget?
Essentially, yes.
That is absolutely spot on.
When we do get the taxes, whatever amount, then it'll go back into our budget and we'll either still be short or we'll be what we should be.
Yeah.
She votes yes.
Ms. Amaral, I got to unmute yourself. I saw you talking. But
Oh,
there you go.
sorry. Motion passes. Future meetings and events, Dr. Winters.
Thank you, Madam President. Members of the board, again, thank you for joining us this morning. Just a reminder that as of Friday, I will be on vacation and look forward to seeing everybody at our next board meeting on the 8th of July.
Board comments, do we have any?
When will Dr. Winters do that?
I just heard my name, Alicia.
She wants to know when you'll be back from vacation, Dr. Winters.
I'm back on the 7th.
I'll talk to Amy, but there's a policy that I'd like to bring up for discussion if we can put it on the agenda.
Yeah, Mrs. Amaral and I will still meet on the 3rd. So if you could get that to her before the 3rd, we can discuss it at that time.
Okay, I'll send it to her.
Thank you.
Any other board comments? Okay, do we have a motion to adjourn?
I make a motion, we adjourn.
Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Aye. All right. We are adjourned. Have a nice
Thank
day,
you.
everyone.
Thank
Thank
you,
you.
everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye.